Well, we're getting to the time of the show where we're going to have the Bigs on Figs segment. And in this particular segment, I will be chatting with Ben Nguyen, who is a gardener and fig collector who likes to grow tropical fruits and veggies in Seattle, where they're not supposed to grow. And Ben has also created a very useful tool for fig enthusiasts, the ultimate Breba List. So here's my chat with Ben. I have on the line with me now Ben Nguyen from Seattle Garden and Fruit Adventures. Ben, welcome to the Bigs on Figs segment.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, excited to chat to you about some of the things that I've got growing here in the Seattle area.
Well, let's start talking about the climate that you have out there in your area.
Well, there's a couple of different schools of thought. There's a gentleman over here by the name of Kiwi Bob, who I was first introduced to when I first started growing figs. I think it was back in 2012 is when I started, and it just kind of went crazy from there. So I consulted Kiwi, and he's been around for a while. He owns a couple nurseries, and now just grows kiwi, of all things, and figs out of his yard. And he's like, you only want to grow figs here in Seattle for the Brebas. So that's very important. Grow figs in Seattle for the Brebas because of our short season and the amount of heat units that we get here, which is nothing like what it's compared to down in the South, in California and whatnot. So I was like, well, I can't believe that. I don't want to believe that the only things that you can grow here are Brebas, like desert king, for instance. So I went out and I bought over 375 different varieties throughout the years, whether it was cuttings or plants, through the internet, through eBay, through websites like Our Figs or Figs for Fun or FigBid or Facebook. I collected figs from pretty much everywhere.
Wow.
And I didn't care if it was a Breba fig or a single crop, main crop fig. I just bought it because I wanted to see for myself if that was true. If it's just Brebas here only in Seattle. And along the way, I discovered that there were a few varieties that do pretty well that aren't Brebas here in Seattle. And one of them I actually discovered down in Santa Cruz. It was mislabeled as a Golden Riverside fig. Now, this is a really big fig. Probably fits into the palm of your hand, about the size of a small peach.
Wow.
And it's a single crop fig that would ripen by September timeframe here in Seattle. I think the reason why it did so well is it came from Santa Cruz, which has a coastal type of climate, which is a lot like what it is here in Seattle. And it was labeled Golden Riverside. But I was thinking to myself, I did a lot of research. Golden Riverside didn't seem like a fig that tastes good. This fig, to me, was fantastic. It was large. It was juicy. It had the flavor of honey, and on warmer years had a mix of a little bit of strawberry mixed into it as well. So I was like, okay, this fig is amazing. It's nothing like what people say it is like on the internet. So I was thinking, okay, mislabeled, I might have something that is kind of spectacular. I mean, I put it onto YouTube and people went crazy for it. I had people from all over the country, all over the world asking, hey, can I get cuttings of this fig that you got here? Like, no, I really got only one plant. And so there was another person who discovered, I guess, the source of this fig. He went out and he bought a bunch, and they were selling up to $150 for one 6-inch stick. It was insane. It was crazy.
Wow.
And it was a really good fig. I actually did a fig event last year where about 12 people came over, tested some of the varieties that I had, and that came in as the number one fig as far as, taste and size and everything else like that. So it was really validated that this was a really good fig.
And of course, once people hear this radio segment, you might be getting more people reaching out to you.
I'm actually kind of in the diet phase of my fig collection. So I want to just shrink down the collection to just what does well, what's productive, what tastes good, and what's not redundant. So I have a YouTube channel that I do a review on figs about, and I felt like I was repeating the same things over and over. I was like, this fig tastes like jam. It's sweet. Or it's honey-like. It tastes like strawberry jam. And I kept repeating that over and over. I go, wait a second. Why would I want 50 black figs that tasted like strawberry jam? Why not just narrow that down to, maybe 10 varieties that taste like strawberry jam that taste the best?
Yeah.
So part of the reason why I started the YouTube channel was to, I guess, have a record of some of the figs that I was collecting, and also share the information as I was going through that process, so folks can save money. I mean, can have a place to go to and reference about new fig purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of California, figs tend to grow, taste, and look very different. I've had figs in Singapore that were grown in Malaysia. They
Wow.
look and grow and taste very different from figs that are grown here in Seattle. I've had figs in California that taste and look and grow very different. So climate affects how figs tend to look and grow. And I have a feeling that the reason why there are so many varieties out there are because people rename them after they go, hey, this looks a little different from this other fig that I think is called a Brunswick.
Yeah.
But I'm growing it here in Minnesota, and the leaves look a little bit different, the fruit looks a little bit different, the color looks a little bit different. But climate affects that, and so they give it a different name.
So let's talk about your Breba list, because I'm pretty excited about
Sure,
that.
yeah.
That's an impressive list. And how long have you been compiling that list?
I think ever since I started growing figs, so about 6 years now. And my growing conditions are not going to be what everybody has in their growing conditions. In Seattle, the zone is 8B. We do get winter snowstorms, but that temperature rarely drops below 20 degrees here. So the figs do fine outdoors. And everybody asks me, there's no more questions they ask, can I grow figs and leave it outside? I go, yes. I've left 1 gallons outside here, and they do fine in Seattle. So as far as the Breba list goes, some of the notable ones are, there's a fig I have called Vincenzo. I acquired it through a trade. It was named after the lady I got it from. Her grandson was named Vincenzo. It's one of the best figs that I've got. The Breba, as well as the main crop, ripens in time here in Seattle within the season, which means before October, and they both rank in the top 10 for me.
Okay.
And they look very different. Yeah, the Breba is this bright red. The main crop is black with these white spots that look like snowflake, at night. So it's
sounds beautiful.
It's a fantastic thing. Yeah, it is. It is a very tasty thing. It's not productive, but I feel like because there's only 1 or 2 figs that grow on my tree, all of the energy goes into funneling to the flavor of this fig. So, I mean, that's probably one of my best Brebas out there. As far as some of the other notable Brebas that I've got here, Pellegrino, that was discovered by a friend of mine in the UK. They grow these huge figs that are very tasty. They are the size of your palm open and weigh probably over 200 grams. One of the larger figs that I've got. It can be very addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just kind of winding down to what is maybe my top 50 best figs that I can grow in Seattle. Just keep that. To have over 400 pots in your yard, it can get a little daunting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us about it. And before we finish off, tell us the website and YouTube channel where listeners can see what you're doing.
Well, it's really simple. I think if you just Google Seattle Garden and Fruit Adventures, you'll bring up my blog that I have about figs. From that website, you can link into my YouTube channel where I do reviews on figs. If you want to find me, you can go on Facebook at Fig Addiction is the group name. You can reach out to me through that and join the group. There's a lot of information that passes through there. And it's not just folks from Seattle, it's folks from all over the world.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, that was Ben Nguyen, a fig collector and avid gardener from Seattle. And wow, going from 400 down to 50, that's a little bit of whittling. And but what an amazing knowledge that Ben has. So thanks, Ben. And again, just search online for Seattle Garden and Fruit Adventures, and you will find Ben's list of Breba figs.